Adventures in Hollywood. I'm your host, Margot DiMatteo. For several years, Adventures in Hollywood has brought you music, comedy, and entertainment of all kinds. But today we're going to entertain you in a totally different way. We're going to offer you a kind of show that has never been done before. Here in Hollywood, California, like nearly everywhere else in the world, the very moment that a family is torn apart by divorce, approximately 90% of the time, the courts award the mother custody of the children, and the father becomes a visitor. Most of the time, the father gets to visit his children every other weekend, and perhaps Wednesdays. No matter how wonderful he was of a father to his children, he becomes a weekend visitor. While the father becomes a visitor, any other friend of the mother is allowed to be with the children any time, without restrictions by the court. In our show, we're going to take a look at this disastrous phenomenon of family destruction by the family law courts and judges.
Hello, welcome to Adventures in Hollywood. I'm Margot DiMatteo. I'm here at the Purple Heart House in Hollywood where one man is making a statement, "Give me back my son." Now, let me tell you a little bit about the Purple Heart House. The Purple Heart House story. This old house is the home of Christopher Robin Sr., father of Christopher Robin Jr. Because of corruption in the family law system, Christopher Robin Jr. has not been seen by his father for 550 days. For each day Christopher Robin does not see his father, another Purple Heart will be painted on this home. The Purple Heart represents the injuries, the pain and suffering incurred in the heat of battle, this battle of child custody. This Purple Heart House will be a symbol of love for all parents and grandparents who are alienated from their beloved children. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures and the stories that people have sent in to be on the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. When my son Joshua was 11, his mother put him in a mental institution until he promised to stop saying, "I want to live with my dad." 7 weeks later, they released him into my custody, but he had changed dramatically. Each time he would hear a car pull up, he would beg me to hide him so they wouldn't take him away. Joshua and Kalisa both wish to live with me. The courts have harmed my children forever. John Colvin, Boca Raton, Florida. This is the most precious person on this earth, my daughter Laura. As this is the case all over the world, even in Australia in divorce and custody, fathers must fight for the lives and happiness of their children. Children deserve to have the happiest childhoods possible, and kind and caring fathers give them that foundation. Lindsay Jackal, Melbourne, Australia. My daughter Suzanne Strauss was taken from her home state, sister, brother, dad, and grandparents 5 years ago. Even though I send $1,000 a month child support, we have been refused all visitation and phone contact. The courts and judges have been useless in enforcing their own orders. Please help a little girl get back with her family that loves her. Cloud Strauss, Ocala, Florida. And now let's read the story of the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. There are walls like that in Berlin which kept us apart. We were glad to tear them down. Some walls, like that for Vietnam vets, heal us. This wall, covered with smiling faces, inspires us. It's a testament to men's love for their children, for families, fatherhood, and fairness. For despite loving their children dearly, many fathers are kept away from them by current public policies and biased divorce laws. Far from despairing, however, these pioneering fathers are reaching out to one another and to us. They want us to see that they support each other and need our help. The pictures you see here are from around the world. They are sent by caring fathers as articles of faith. Look closely at these photos. Each represents a child in need of his father. It is our fondest hope that love will triumph, and children the world over will be reunited with their fathers. And here's some more stories on the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. I get to see my children in June for 8 weeks. It has been 2 years since we've been able to hug each other. After 8 weeks they will go away, and it will be 10 more months before I can hold them in my arms again. My children deserve to have the best that I can provide. My children need me full time. The courts prevent it. Why? That's from Ken Gruber, Grantville, Pennsylvania. And here's some more stories from the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. My children and I have become victims of a family court system filled with biased and incompetent judges. Rather than promoting harmony between parents so children can have both parents, the courts promote conflict. The only apparent interest of the court system is to ensure continued litigation akin to government extortion and racketeering. The last time I saw my children was the summer of 1995. I am unsure of when I will see my Amy and Christopher again. I am 40 years old and my children are young. Time is passing us by. From Gregory Palumbo, a PhD in microbiology at the University of Oklahoma. This is Lorette Perchek, my oldest granddaughter, age 5 years. It's the only picture I have of her. I have not seen her in 9 years. She lives 12 miles away from me. Grandparents should have rights too. Ruth Schneider, Alberta, Canada. And now more stories from the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. My ex-wife used false allegations to reverse custody in July 1995, 1 week after I filed. Now I see my daughter only 12 hours monitored timeshare each week. False allegations are a crime in many states. Dr. Laura believes that 99% of all allegations against fathers by the mothers are false and used as a means to punish and destroy fathers. It's time to change the system. Gary and Taylor Saunders, Hollywood, California. My name is Kevin Say. I love my dad and know he loves me. The little time together goes so fast. I always wish I could stay longer. My dad's trying to make things work better. My dad always puts my brother and me first. My name is Kyle Say. My dad and I love each other a lot. I wish I could spend more time with my dad instead of having to leave again. I miss him a lot when we're apart. Kevin and Kyle Say, Madison, Ohio. Let's take a look at another story on the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. My daughter Jillian sued to divorce her abusive mother. The courts then put her in a foster home, but she continues to run away to live with me. I have hired 17 lawyers and spent $500,000 to get justice and happiness for my daughter. The family court system has ruined my family, my business, and the life of my children. That's Dr. Paul Shapiro, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is Allison and Candace King and their father Peter King in happier days. The girls have not seen their father for 5 years because of the corrupt practices of county court system in Oklahoma. Peter King misses and loves his daughters very much and hopes that sometime in the near future he will be reunited with them. Peter King, Oklahoma City. There is absolutely nothing in this world as important to me as my daughter. All else pales in comparison. I am one of the luckier ones because I am a full-time parent to my daughter, Amy. Richard Martin, Bedminster, New Jersey. And here are more pictures and stories on the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. This is an old picture of my angel Shaylin Marie Davis and her proud daddy Mayford Davis Jr. I last saw my baby December 5th, 1992. My advice to everyone, and listen well, never ever trust any lawyer. When they reach to shake your hand, there will be a knife in his other hand for your back. Mayford Davis Jr., alienated father.
Next one up.
This is Caitlin, age 10, and Casey, age 5, with me the last time we were together. With the court's permission, their mother moved them far away from me. Fathers are people too. We are loving, caring, nurturing parents. Our children need us, and we deserve to parent our children. Kids need their fathers. Russ Miller, Charlotte, This is my son Roy and me, whom I have not seen for 7 years. If you see my precious son, please tell him that his father Jack loves him and that he will always be the most important person in my life. Jack Garbaz, Father's Rights Now. My daddy flies all the way from Texas to Florida every 6 weeks to take me back to his house. I love it there because I have a donkey to ride and lots of planes that my daddy makes for me. He loves me more than anyone else in the world. My dad and I are very lucky because we get to see each other more than most of the boys and girls on this wall. Maddie McAllen, Austin, Texas. On August 1, 1996, I was awarded custody of my children, Angela and Donnie. The next day, their mother kidnapped them and fled to Oklahoma, then to Arizona, and now Colorado. When I last spoke to my ex-wife by phone, she said that if I continued to fight her, she would accuse me of molestation. Is there anyone in the world who can help my children and me? D.G. Higginbotham, Conway, Arkansas. Here are stories and pictures on the Purple Heart Wall of Hope. Here are my sons, Brandon and Spencer. I want my boys to grow up in a loving, safe, secure environment surrounded by love. If it takes two people to become parents, the children need both of them. It's time the courts consider justice and the well-being of children. I will fight forever for the rights of children to have their fathers in their lives. Albert Whale, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I see my dad only twice a week. My dad offered to take care of me instead of sending me to daycare, but my mom said no. I want to be with my dad. Mikey Hank, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I was always a full-time dad. Now I see my Roses 2 times a week and every other weekend. A judge turned me from a father into a visitor. My daughters don't understand how one man, a liar lawyer in a black gown, has the power to destroy a family. David Nevers, Clarendon Hills, Illinois. Although I pay a great amount of child support each month, I get to see my beloved children every other weekend, if their mother feels like it. My kids wrote the following for the Wall of Hope. We miss our dad so much and think about him all the time. We love our dad more than anything. Brett Garnett and children, Los Angeles, California. Here are my beloved children, Robert, age 5, and Rachel, age 8. I haven't seen them since Christmas. I was always the caregiver, and my children need me very much. The South Carolina court system and lawyers robbed my children of their father. God bless my children and let them know I love them very much. Marvin Lee, Valdosta, Georgia. My son, Michael Panter, was stolen from me by the corrupt court of Tennessee. They took my family, my home, my business. I was my son's only nurturing parent. Now he lives without his father every day of his life. Criminal judges and attorneys in family courts are destroying families all over the world. Is there anything we can do? Michael Panter, Mitchenville, Tennessee. This is my 6-year-old, Katie, whom I love so much but seldom see. I was wearing my Purple Heart button at the Baltimore St. Patrick's Day Parade, and 2 policemen inquired what it meant. I explained that in nearly every divorce, the mother gets the children. They asked for buttons and pinned them on their chests and wore them proudly. Bill Bortner, Baltimore. Kids need fathers. This is a picture of my daughter, Carrie Lynn, from 2 years ago. I'm not even sure what she looks like today. I miss her so much. There is such corruption in the family court system. It's like McCarthyism in the 1990s. Gary L. Kirk, Rockford, Illinois. I drive and fly 1,200 miles from Michigan to Louisiana every other week to see my daughter, Carolyn, age 7. Sometimes her mother has taken her out of town when I arrive to visit. Caroline's grandparents also don't understand why they are not allowed to see their granddaughter. We must fight to make changes in this system which destroys families. Never ever give up. James Simerad, Lake Orion.